You ready for me? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I have the pleasure of rounding up this panel. I hope I'm entertaining. If I'm not, just nod and smile. It's a tried and true technique. It works. I am cold because we're right under the vents. And so when you see me shaking, I am nervous, but it could just be because of the cold, okay? So bear with me. I'll be looking at emerging trends in digital media and the future of print. And the beautiful name is Chevonnese, Chevers, Whyte. Thank you. Yes. So we're seeing some international trends, and I'm sure you know most of these. One of the first thing is content marketing. And what we're doing, we're looking at the audience, finding out more about the audience, and seeing how we can tailor that content to meet that audience's need. Of course, we have digital magazines and papers. We all know about mobile apps. That's an exciting world right now. Podcasts, where you can sign up or subscribe to a video or recording, some kind of audio, or even books. And once a new release is out, you are notified. You also can have news videos on YouTube. And of course, this explosion of social media platforms out there. I'll just name a few because I just can't list them all, okay? So we have Facebook, Google+. My students sing about Instagram all the time. I still think I should join, but I'm on the fence with that one. LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and so much more. And of course, good old faithful, our websites, right? All right, so I asked the question, can these trends, these international trends, really apply to our Jamaican market? And I'm coming from, I should say, one of my professions is marketing. And what we look at, we're trying to move away from a product-centered industry more to a customer-based, customer-centered industry. And now we're looking at prosumers. Prosumers, that don't sound right, right? And a prosumer is just something as simple as a consumer who is able to customize their product for their own need. And each one of these panelists have gone into it, that's the way we're going now. Persons, or at least persons in my age group and others, are able to customize the content to their needs. So that's what we're looking for. So we asked a lot of questions. How can we get them involved in what we do? How can they tailor the content that they receive? What do they want? And that's a very important question. What do they want? And the solution is, as a business professional, be a psychic. I'm not talking about a psychic, where you have the cloth around the head and, there's dim lights, incense in the room, and, somebody's reading your palm and saying your future is. No, that's not type of psychic I'm talking about. The type of psychic I'm talking about is where you try to anticipate the prosumer's needs before they even know what they want. And to do that, we're going to try and connect with them. So we ask some questions. Who are they? Where are they? What do they want to discuss? What kind of content are they looking for? What are they talking about? How do they connect with media? So I got a little bit curious, and I wanted to find out more about, media in Jamaica and how persons connect with media. So I asked 3 questions. I developed this mini survey where I asked 3 questions. Are you interested in a certain type of information? What's your source of getting this information? And what's your preferred method of getting this information? And the categories were local news, local gossip, and local politics. All right. I sent it out via the email, internet, across persons that I know. I placed it on Twitter, on Google+, all of those places. And over a 1-week period, we had 62 respondents. Now, a little bit small, but remember it was a mini survey, right? And unfortunately, we didn't get anyone from the category of 13 to 17. But 18 to 24, we had 15 respondents. The power group, ages 25 to 34, that's my age category. We had 27 respondents. For 35 to 44, we had 14 respondents and only 5 persons for over 45. All right, so what we were seeing is that for source of information, when people were looking for information in regards to local news, what you were finding is they were going to the television, local TV, they were going to newspapers, and they were going to online news sites to find out what is going on with the local news. For local politics, we were finding persons going more to local TV and a distribution between the newspaper and, at a lesser extent, online news sites and the radio. And for those persons who are interested in gossip, we found that they were finding their information at Facebook and through face-to-face conversations. So that, you know, I know it was 62 respondents, but still, it seems very interesting, you know? All right, but I wanted to dig a little bit deeper. It's not just good to know where they're going, but you want to know what's your preferred method of getting this information. So what we were finding was, with the local news, you're finding persons going to local TV. They wanted to go to local TV and or online news sites. For politics, local TV was on point, and to a lesser extent, online news sites. And again, for those people who wanted to gossip, Facebook and face-to-face conversations, and I don't know. Right. And so I also wanted to know, are you interested in local news, in gossip, and in politics? And what you're finding is the power age group of ages 24 to 25 to 34, they are dominant, they are interested in local news, they are interested in gossip, and they are interested in politics. So supporting some information that I found, young people, and I'm categorizing young people as ages 18 to 34, because I'm a young person and I'm in the category of 25 to 34, right? So young people are interested in news, in gossip, and in politics, contrary to what most adults would say. So actually, we're seeing this trend also internationally. In the UK, there was a think tank demo that said more and more young people want to know what's going on around them. They just want to know, they just want it where they are, right? So what we want to look at is this prosumer, this concept of the prosumer with our local media. And what we need to strive to is trying to deliver our content, especially digital content, in a more modular form. So an example of this, and granted I'd want us to go further, but an example of this would be like the app that we have on BBC News iPad app. And as you can see, you can get to choose what type of information that you can see. You can't, it's not just a case where, well, I want to find out more about the news, and so I'm blasted with news from everywhere for every category known to man. You can choose what you want to see. So if it is about technology, you can say, yes, I want to see technology. If you want to see about United States, you can check and say, yes, I want to see more about the United States or Asia or whatever. So now you can tailor the content to your needs, to your preference, right? So I know I've been talking about a lot about digital media, and I'm telling you to go everywhere. So, you know, you have mobile apps and digital magazines and YouTube and social media. But really, the tried and true and the backbone of your digital content would still be on your website. You're just going to other places where those young people are so that you can interact with them. All right, so I watch Pix 11 all the time because I'm young. And It's really a New York television station, and they're everywhere. They're on Facebook, Google, Twitter, YouTube, but again, their website is the backbone of all the content that they're delivering to their audience. And here in Jamaica, we are actually following suit with international trends. The Jamaica Magazine and Talawa magazines are doing okay, at least in my estimate. And I love Talawa magazine because they've actually used a blogger, which is something that is free to distribute, to display their content each issue, so that's pretty cool. Mobile apps, Jamaica Glean and Jamaica Observer, you are already there. And TVJ and CVM, you're already delivering news on YouTube. So for a person like me who don't watch local television, unless The Voice is going on or Champs and coming up World Cup, right? I can still get information. I can still keep up with the local news by subscribing to TVJ's and CVM's YouTube channels. All right, so I know I've gone on and on in regards to digital media. So is print dead? It's declining, but it's not dead. As you can see from the mini survey that I had given you before, persons are still using the newspaper. It is still relevant. What we need to do is to focus on our consumers and pretty much our prosumers. Try and tailor the content to their needs. We've had successes international in regards to print media, and what you're finding, those companies are having success because they're merging, they're branding. And Mr. Lemlane, okay, he spoke about convergence, which is what we really need to do, especially in regards to print media, so that we can still survive. Let's look at the milk industry in the States. Milk was declining. People weren't consuming milk for years. They were having competition with Gatorade and sodas and energy drinks, all of these other things that were competing with milk. And what they did, they launched a marketing campaign around milk where it's not where it was. Not a lot of persons are consuming milk like one time. But surely the milk industry has not died, and we don't intend it to die for the United States. And it's pretty much the same thing that the print media would have to do. Right? So what we need to do is to remind people of the joys of print. And of course, come up with shelf-worthy content. We'll have to look at quality content at the end of the day. So what we need to look at coexisting. Don't think of it as, well, it's digital media or print media. We have to look at it as digital media and print media. How can each of them work together? At the end of the day, most of the time when you have a news feed on TVJ and something has been released, for instance, a man throwing a stone at a police officer and was killed from that incident, most persons weren't watching the television at that time, but surely when that news had hit, a lot of people had gone to YouTube and watched over that video over and over again. So it's complementary, not mutually exclusive. Each of them have their own unique advantages. All right, so my advice at the end of the day is that what we need to do is to research some more on our consumers, find out more about our consumers and the target audience, and try to tailor that content to our audience. If it is that we're providing quality content, pretty much they will come to you in whatever form that they will. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, so clearly the power group can't replace mics and mic stands, but please give our panelists a round of applause.